Hello and welcome back to the Sonic Hack Showcase. Today's hack has a little bit of a special case, as it's fairly recent. So you could say in a way this video is going to be a hyping, considering it is looking very promising, but at the same time a massive bug list. I will always admit that no one is perfect when they first do these things, and there is stuff that naturally happens just as I'm playing the game, so it might prove to be some help. That being said, let's have a look at what we have here. We have Sonic the Hedgehog AGX. Now, what seems to be the norm for the beginner hackers seems to be that we have a Green Hill Zone going on here, but with the attempt at different art and overall layout and design. And of course, midway talking about the Green Hill Zone, I warp into a special zone, so now we must change subject temporarily. And on this note, I want to bring up something. The special stages are meant to be a bit of a challenge to try and get to the Chaos Emerald. They lead to an overall goal, 100%ing the game, and sometimes unlocking new content, or supersonic in some cases. And it just doesn't feel right if you don't really give some punishment here. Now, this is the first stage, albeit, but even in the first stage of the classic ones, there still was some danger that if you messed up, you would fail. Although yes, this is a little bit of a nitpick, it's mainly because a lot of hacks don't bother changing up the special stages right away. And if they do, they seem to go full circle into being absolutely retardedly difficult. And my final nitpick is this. Why cover the Chaos Emerald in so many of these annoying little diamonds? The idea of the diamonds in the classic Sonic game was to increase tension by you having to spend time as the map spun, with the risk of the camera spinning in such a way that you'll fall down while trying to get rid of these diamonds and fail by hitting a goal. The thing is, in this particular room, you're completely sealed off and there is no risk of you failing. And to prove a point, I almost make sure to get every single diamond. Yeah, this could take a while, so I'm just gonna skip ahead. Now, I don't want to sound nitpicky, but I want to sound nitpicky. A few changes to that special stage and you could have something awesome. A good way to picture your special stages is no risk, no reward, but no one likes a douche. So let's have a look at Zone 1. Problem being with that is really, if you go into one of the special stages, you do have to replay the level. I would say if that were the case, that maybe try and code it so you start the same level where the ring was. I don't know how easy that is. It is a little annoying you have to do the whole stage again. Seems a few of the sprites are bugged out. I don't know if that's because you have your ring on the actual area of the map. I do know that when I used to do that in debug mode, it used to mess up a few of the sprites. Well, let's talk a little bit more about Green Hill Zone while it's here before I start picking at it again. As I said before, it's had a bit of a graphical uplift. The pattern below the grass having a little bit more depth to it, adding some lovely flowers to the grass, and quite a bit of a nice background update, kind of hinting that there might be a level off in the distance. And that's really it, as it's still going for Green Hill Zone, so there's not really that much need for change. Of course, the level layout has had a massive overhaul, but one of the things I found about level updates is they're not always stable, he said as walking through a wall. Sonic himself has pretty much gotten the usual treatment. Not many moves added, apart from a weird homing attack that half the time works and half the time just decides to double jump. Am I doing something wrong, or is the homing attack just a little bit finicky, perhaps? It doesn't seem to home on them, it just kind of seems to double jump in their general direction. Alright, another move that Sonic also has is a kind of wall jump. Albeit not as fancy as Retro Remix's wall jump, but it gets the job done, as it does indeed bounce you off a wall. Really, that's it, apart from the musical changes. There is only Green Hill Zone 1, 2, 3, and then the boss, and then that's it. As this is just a demo and kind of a showcase of his ideas, and they have done more than I ever dreamed to, at least for a while. So definitely give him props for trying, and as he has stated, it is very early days and there is much to be improved. So I'm going to wrap this up with a few more little things that, if I were you, I would change. This is just a bit of criticism on my end, and you're more than welcome to say, screw you, but I'm just giving my 2 cents about it. It's really 2 things that have stuck out to me. First of all, rings carry over stages. This has never made sense to me. A good example is what just happened there. I had 200 rings and started the level where there was a bunch of other rings. I collect 1, and because I have 200 rings, it registers as me getting 2 extra lives. Now, unless later levels you plan to need those lives or you're going to be screwed, this makes the hack really easy. Secondly, the after image. I dislike after images in any of these things. It really only seems like it should be appropriate when he's going at absolute maximum speed, and even then I want it to be short, because if you die with it available at any speed pretty much, it just looks ugly. Allow me to give you a brief example of the after image effect I'm talking about. Third nitpick, and this just reminded me, that flash at the boss can really screw you over. That video was just proof. As for the boss itself, pretty neat ideas, I must say. One of the things I don't see very often is what you did, and that was increase the invincibility time of Robotnik when you hit him. And definitely a new twist on the actual layout of the level. That is kind of sinister. I do applaud you though, because it did take me a while to figure out an actual good pattern to beat this guy, and it still was rather challenging. One false move and he will kick my ass. Until next time, I'm Mega G-Wolf, and this has been the Sonic Hack Showcase, and I'll see you next time, for maybe the last time. It doesn't home, it kinda just double jumps in that Wow.